So today we are going to start a class on which Akash will deliver a lecture on linear Diophantine equation. So we have already witnessed two more classes on which more things were already discussed by the students. So it is another slot where Akash will describe on linear Diophantine equation. So may I now request Akash to share your screen. Akash, it's yours now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, is it visible?
Yes, it's now visible there. It's audible too.
So, first of all, thank you, sir, for giving us such opportunity, and thank you to Protik as well because he helped me out. So, our today's discussion is about linear Diophantine equation, which is a topic on number theory. So, before we start linear Diophantine equation, we have to know about what is Diophantine equation. So, Diophantine equation is an equation involving only sums, products, and powers in which all the constants are integers, and the only solution are sought as to be integers. For example, here you can see 3x plus 7y equals to 1 and x square minus y square equals to z cube is type of a Diophantine equation where x, y, z are integers. The Diophantine equation is named in honor of Greek mathematician Diophantus of Alexandria in 3rd century. And the equation were first systematically solved by our Hindu mathematician beginning with Aryabhat. And now Diophantine equation are classified by its solutions. So Diophantine equation has no solution, has infinite solution, or maybe it has infinite solutions. For example, 6x minus 9y equals to 29, it has no solution. Why? We will discuss later. And the solution 6x minus 9y equals to 30, it has infinitely many solutions. And the reason behind it we will discuss later. And another is another we will see example that equation which has a finite solutions. So there are three possible of classification of Diophantine equations. Another tool of solving Diophantine equation is congruence method. Congruence method provide a useful tool in determining the number of solution to a Diophantine equation. Applied to the simplest Diophantine equation, say two variables ax plus by equals to c, where a, b, c are non-zero integers. The congruence method shows that equation has either no solution or infinitely many solutions according to whether the greatest common divisor GCD of AB divides C or not. If not, there are no solution. If it does, there are infinitely many solutions, and they form a one parameter family of solutions. So this was the about Diophantine equation. So let's come to our main topic, linear Diophantine equation. So we first have need to know what is linear Diophantine equation. So here's the definition. So linear Diophantine equation is of the form is like you can see is like that, and where all ai's and b are fixed integers is called a linear Diophantine equation. When we consider n greater than equal to 1 and ai's are all different from 0, so comes let to know a first theorem which says that a linear Diophantine equation of two variables, say x and y, with the coefficients of variables a and b are not zero, has a solution if and only if the GCD of the coefficients of the variable is divide c. So it is a very routine proof, very easy. So let ax plus by equals to c has a solution x naught y naught. Then x naught y naught has to be satisfied this equation. So x naught plus by naught equals to c. Another let d equals to GCD of the coefficients of the variable. And since d divides a and b as d equals to GCD of ab, so d divides ax naught plus by naught as well, which implies that d divides c. Conversely, assume that d divides c. Then we can write as c equals to d into some k, which is integer. Since d equals to GCD of AB, there are integers r and t for which AR plus BT equals to d. And now if we put if we multiply this equation by k, then it gives ARK plus BTK equals to DK, and DK is nothing but C. So here RK and TK is the solution of these equations. So here we know that when a linear Diophantine equation of two variables has a solution. So summary is a linear Diophantine equation has a solution if and only if the GCD of the variables divides the constant term. Let's come to our next theorem. So my second theorem states that if a linear Diophantine equation has a solution, what it will it form. So the if x naught and y naught are a integral solution of a given linear Diophantine equation ax plus by equals to c, then all the solution are of the form x equals to x naught plus b by d into n, and y equals to y naught minus a by d into n, where n is any integer and d is GCD of the coefficients. So to prove it, let's first assume another x naught and y naught a pair, which is also solution of ax plus by equals to c. Then it must satisfy the above Diophantine equation. So we can write it as ax dash plus by dash equals to ax naught plus by naught. So if we divide both side by d, then we can find the equation number 1 like this, and simplifying by this we can write it as a by d into x naught minus x dash minus x naught equals to b by d into y naught minus y dash. Now d equals to GCD of AB, hence we can say that GCD of a by d and b by d is 1. Then from 1 it follows that a by d divides y naught minus y dash. Therefore we can say that there exists a integer k such that y dash minus y naught minus y dash equals to a by d into k. Simplifying it, we can write it as y dash equals to y naught minus a by d into k. Similarly, we can do for same x dash. X dash we can write it as x naught plus b by d into k, where k is any integer. So final result is that if x naught and y naught be the solution of a linear Diophantine equation ax plus by equals to c, then all the solution are of the form is like as x dash is x naught plus b by d into n, and y dash is looks like a y naught minus ad into n, where n is any integer. So now let's come to examples. So here you can see there are two examples. 4x plus first one is 4x plus 6y equals to 11, and 5x plus 4y equals to 9. So in the first one we have to need first check whether the GCD of 4 and 6 divides 11 or not. So for GCD of 4 and 6 is 2, and hence 2 doesn't divides 11. So by the next previous theorem we can say that there are no integral solution. And in the second problem, GCD of 5 and 4 is 1, and 1 divides 9, so it has a integral solution. If we take 1 1, x equals to 1 and 4 equals to 1, then 1 1 is the solution of the second linear Diophantine equation. So by the last theorem we can write its all the solution of the second theorem is as x equals to 1 plus 4 by 1 into n, and y equals to 1 minus 5 by 1 into n. That is x equals to 1 plus 4n, and y equals to 1 minus 5n for any integer n. So now comes to the our second method of, sorry, this is the mechanism of how to find whether a linear Diophantine equation has a solution of a n variable or not. So let ax plus by equals to p. It's look not good, but assume it is p. So let ax plus by equals to p, a linear Diophantine equation where GCD of AB equals to D. Then by the last theorems, we know that the equation 1 has solution if and only if D divides P. So P can write it as D into some integer W, and dw equals to ax plus by the equation 1. Again let ax plus by equals to cz equals to q. By 2 we can write dw plus cz equals to q. We replace ax plus by uh, dw. So this is the number 4 equation is a linear Diophantine equation of two variables, say w and z. So as we can see the last theorem, we know that the number 4 equation has a solution if and only if the GCD of D and C divides Q. So here you can see that GCD of D, which is nothing but GCD of AB. So we can write by the algebra of GCD, we can write it as GCD of AB comma C equals to GCD of ABC. So we can say that finally that the equation number 3 equation has a solution if and only if GCD of ABC divides Q. If we extend this result for n variable, we can say that if there is a linear Diophantine equation of the form a1x1 plus a2x2 plus dot 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 anxn equals to c has solutions if and only if GCD of all coefficients of the variable divides c. Now let's come to another method where it says that if let ABC belongs to Z with AB non-zero, and if x naught and y naught is a solution of linear Diophantine equation, say ax plus by equals to c, then x is a solution to the associated congruence ax congruent to c modulo m, where m is modulus of b. Conversely, we can say that if x naught is a solution to the above congruence, then there is a y naught such that x naught and y naught is a solution to the above Diophantine equation. For the first part of the theorem, it is of very easy routine calculus that observe carefully that b divides ax naught minus c. Thus, b is nothing but m, and thus m divides ax naught minus c, and we find this result. And for the second part of the theorem, since ax naught solve the congruence m divides ax naught minus c, thus ax naught minus c is a multiple of b. Hence, we can write it as ax naught minus c equals to y naught into b for some y naught belongs to z. Then x naught and y naught solves the Diophantine equations. We can find it as n variable also. We can extend this theorem for n variable as well. Let's come to an example. So there is a given a linear Diophantine equation 7x plus 9y equals to 41. Using the congruence method, we need to find whether it has solution or not, and if there is a solution, how it is looks like. So the above theorem we convert into the congruence mod 9, namely 7x congruent 41 mod 9, which reduced to 7x congruent 5 mod 9. The unique solution of the congruence equation is given by, I am just multiplying both sides of the congruence of 7 inverse in Z9. So by multiplying 7 inverse, I'm getting this result x congruent to 2 mod 9, which we convert the equation x equals to 2 plus 90. Note that x naught equals to 2 and y naught we can find 41 minus 7 into 2 divides 9 equals to 3. So we have y equals to 3 minus 70. And 1 and 2 is a form of solutions of the above linear Diophantine equation 7x plus 9y equals to 41. So now I am asked to our fellow students, there is any problem until now? Is it understandable? If there any problem, please ask me. Otherwise, I'm continue. Is there any problem?
So please continue.
Okay, sir. So my next result is it's very interesting. Suppose that the equation a1x1, a1, a2x2 and amxm equals to n, where all the ai's greater than 0 is solvable in non-negative integers. Then we defined an be the number of its solutions x1, x2 and xn, dot 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 xn. So an depends only the n, not on, not even ai's and not on xi's. So an I'm defining the an be the number of solutions, number of solutions. So here is the theorem that the generating function of the sequence an where n greater than equals to 1 is looks like fx equals to 1 by 1 minus x to the power a1 into 1 minus x to the power a2 dot 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 1 minus x to the power am, where x equals to less than 1. Why it is, we look further. That is, we can write this theorem simply that an is equal to the coefficients of xn in the power series expansion of n of f. I mean to say that an is the number of solution of the form a1 x2 a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus an am xn equals to n, and an be the number of solutions of this linear Diophantine equation. So if we expand the fx, and if we find the uh, coefficient of x to the power n, then the coefficient is nothing but equals to n. So using a geometric series, we have 1 by 1 minus x to the power ak equals to 1 plus x to the power ak plus x to the power 2k dot 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 something like that, where k equals to 1 to up to m. Hence we can write fx equals to like this: 1 plus x to the power a1 plus x to the power 2a2 for ai I equals to for 1, and dot 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 for I equals to m. If we find the coefficient of xn, it's as a combine comes from the right side of the equation as x to the power all of the combinations of a1 a2 a3 and dot 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 so am, and number of all linear combination is nothing but am. So fx we can write it as fx equals to 1 plus a1x plus dot 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 an x to the power n. So this was the theorem. And now finding an, here is the result that how we can find an. So an is nothing but 1 by n factorial f nth derivative of f at 0. From the last theorem we have fx equals to 1 plus a1x plus a2x plus dot 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 an x to the power n plus an plus 1 x to the power n plus 1. Then by first derivative we can write it as a1 plus 2ax plus dot 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 n into an plus x to the power n minus 1, and so on. By second derivative we can write it as 2a plus dot 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 n into n minus 1 an x to the power n minus 2, and so on. Similarly, if we differentiate n times, then we get fn x equals to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to 1 an, and an plus 1 into n minus 1 dot 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 2 an x. If we find this fn x at 0, then we get n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 dot 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 1 an plus 0, as other term has x. So if we put x equals to 0, then it's give the value 0. And as we can see that fn at 0 is nothing but n factorial into an. So an equals to, we can write it as an equals to 1 by n factorial into f in nth derivative of f at 0. So now let's come to an example that find the number of pairs xy of non-negative integers such that x plus 2y equals to n. So I mean to say that how many solutions are there of the linear Diophantine equation of the form x plus 2y equals to n. From last result we have the number of such pairs is equal to an, which is 1 by n factorial f nth derivative of f at 0. So as we can see the last theorem that fx we can write it as like this. So here f of t is 1 by 1 minus t into 1 minus t square. Simplifying this, we can write it as f of t equals to half of 1 by t minus 1 whole square minus 1 by 4 into 1 minus t minus 1 plus 1 by 4 into 1 minus t plus 1. Nth derivative of f, I'm skipping all the steps here. Nth derivative of f, it's look like this, and if we take the nth derivative of f at 0, it gives that n plus 1 factorial by 2 plus n factorial by 4 plus minus 1 to the power n into n factorial by 4, which is nothing but an equals to 1 by n factorial fn 0 equals to 2n plus 3 minus 1 to the power n plus 4. So here we can see that if x plus 2y equals to n is a linear Diophantine equation, then the number of solution for n is of the form 2n plus 3 plus minus 1 to the power n by 4. If we put n equals to 1, that is x plus 2y equals to 1, then the number of solution of it is 2 into 1 plus 3 plus minus 1 to the power 1 by 4, which is nothing but 2 by 3, 2 into plus 3 into minus 1, so it is 1. There is only one solution. So this is the example of finite solutions. X plus 2y equals to 1 has a finite solution. There is only one solution. Another example is that the determine the positive integers n such that the equation x plus 2y plus z equals to n has exactly 100 solutions x, y, z in non-negative integers. That is, the word values of n, the equation x plus 2y plus z equals to n has exactly 100 solutions. So using the last theorem, we can see that an is nothing but, skipping all the steps, I'm writing it an as the form of 2 into n plus 1 into n plus 3 plus 1 plus minus 1 to the power n by 8. So can be of the form of even and odd. So if we let n equals to even, then n must be of the form is 2k, where k is integer. So an, calculating the putting n equals to 2k in the above equation, I'm finding that an equals to k plus 1 whole square. In this problem, 100 solutions are there, so we can write k plus 1 equal k plus 1 whole square equals to 100. So we find that k equals to 9, so n may be 18. So if n equals to 18, there are 100 solution, exactly 100 solution. What if n equals to of odd form? So let n equals to 2k plus 1, where k equals to k is an integer, and now we can find that putting n equals to 2k plus 1 in above equation, we find that an equals to k plus 1 into k plus 2, and an, as we can see that an equals to 100, we can write it as k plus 1 into k plus 2 equals to 100. But this is not true for any integer k, hence n can't be a odd. So here we can see that n has only one choice, which is 18. So this equation x plus 2y plus z equals to n has exactly 100 solution if n equals to 18. So this is also a example of finite solution of linear Diophantine equation, that if x plus 2y plus z equals to 18, then it has exactly 100 solution, which is finite. So that is the end of my talk. So is there any doubt on it? This is a question to my fellows classmates.
a very interesting talk. So, any doubts or questions if you have, so please do not hesitate to ask him. So, at the end, you have introduced a few questions that usually that are asked in various competitive exams. So, last few slides were quite important for competitive exams. So that's the end of this today's presentation. It was nice, and all the speakers they did quite well.